Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that could be hiding right in your pocket change if you're a coin collector, a history lover, or just someone curious about how a simple penny can be worth thousands of dollars. In today's video is going to be perfect for you. First up, we are exploring today is the 1957 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D Mint mark, a coin that represents the final years of one of America's most beloved and historically meaningful coin series. Even though it belongs to a period when wheat pennies were produced in very large numbers, every individual piece still carries its own story, shaped by how it was used, handled, saved, or sometimes forgotten for decades. The coin you have in hand shows signs of damage and scratches, which immediately tell us this penny spent a long part of its life in active circulation, passing from pocket to pocket, being used in everyday transactions, and experiencing the natural wear that coins go through over time. This kind of physical history gives every coin its personality. Whether or not it holds significant market value, the 1957 D penny comes from the Denver Mint, which was responsible for producing a huge number of these coins during that year. In fact, this period was known for extremely high mintage numbers, as pennies were heavily used in daily life across the United States. Because of this, most 1957 D pennies are considered common today, and collectors can find them in almost any grade, from heavily worn to mint state. However, your coin, being in damaged condition with visible scratches, falls into the lower range of preservation. The details on Lincoln's portrait, such as his hair, cheek, and jawline, may be faint or softened. On the reverse side, the wheat ears may no longer display their original crisp lines. Damage like scratches and surface marks usually reduces a coin's grade significantly, since collectors place strong emphasis on original detail and clean surfaces when determining desirability, even though it may not be a high-value coin in today's market. This 1957 D penny still holds historical and sentimental value. It is a reminder of the final era of wheat pennies before the design changed in 1959 to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse. For nearly 50 years, the wheat penny served as the standard American 1-cent coin, and millions of people handled these daily without giving much thought to their design or importance. Today, collectors look back at them as symbols of a time when small denominations were meaningful and frequently used. Long before the digital economy and electronic payments, each surviving wheat penny, including those in damaged condition, carries the weight of this rich past. Coins like this allow us to reflect on the journey they have taken. Imagine the possible places this single penny might have traveled. It may have been used to buy a soda in the 1950s, spent by a child buying candy, passed through countless cash registers, or saved temporarily in a glass jar before returning to circulation again. Over the years, it may have been dropped, scratched, rubbed against other coins, or simply worn down through time. All of these experiences are written into the metal itself. That is one of the reasons coin collecting remains such a meaningful hobby. It is not only about the value of a coin, but the stories it carries, the era it represents, and the people who once handled it in terms of market value. A 1957 D wheat penny is typically worth only a modest amount when found in damaged or heavily worn condition. Most collectors consider these common-day pennies, especially those from the 1950s, to be plentiful and easily replaceable. Values range only from a few cents to perhaps 10 cents when a coin has noticeable scratches or more serious surface issues. While this may seem low, the coin still has educational worth, especially for beginners who enjoy learning about grading, circulation wear, mint marks, and the differences between well-preserved coins and those that show the marks of time. This makes your coin a good teaching example and an interesting addition for someone building a simple wheat penny collection, even though its condition lowers its market worth. It does not reduce the historical charm of the coin. The wheat design is cherished by collectors for its classic appearance and symbolism. Designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, the obverse features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design lasted almost half a century, and today it represents a major chapter in American numismatic history. When you hold a wheat penny, you hold a piece of the past, a small artifact from an era when coins were truly part of everyday life. The next coin in this journey through America's historic currency is the 1941 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, a coin that represents the early years of the 1940s, a time when the United States was on the edge of entering World War II. Every penny minted during this era carries with it a quiet connection to the past, to a world dramatically different from today. And the 1941 wheat penny stands as a reminder of America's economic strength and daily life in that important decade. Even in good condition with some scratches, this coin brings forward its own character, shaped by years of circulation and the hands that carried it. Coins from 1941 were struck in very large quantities, especially at the Philadelphia Mint, which is the origin of your coin. The absence of a mint mark confirms that it was produced in Philadelphia. During this time, the mint was preparing for increased production demands, as wartime tensions were rising and industries were shifting their focus toward supporting national efforts. The copper used in Lincoln pennies of this period came from natural resources that were widely available before the shift to steel cents in 1943, a change driven by the need to conserve copper for military supplies. So, every copper penny minted in 1941 reflects the materials and priorities of pre-war America. Your coin, described as being in good condition with some scratches, indicates that it spent a fair amount of time in circulation. In coin grading terms, good condition usually means the major details are visible, but the finer elements of the design show wear. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait remains recognizable, though the hair details above the forehead may appear worn down. The cheek and jawline may show flattening from years of handling, and the word liberty may be slightly softened. The date 1941, however, typically remains clear and readable on coins in this grade. The reverse side, featuring the iconic wheat ears, shows additional signs of wear. The wheat stalks, which originally had sharp lines and fine separation between the grains, may appear smooth, but the central inscriptions, including 1 cent and United States of America, stay legible. The scratches mentioned are normal for a coin of this age and simply reflect decades of movement through pockets, cash registers, and coin jars. While scratches affect collectability, they do not take away from the historical importance of the coin. Collectors often appreciate circulated wheat pennies for the stories they carry. A 1941 penny could have been used during the early 1940s for small purchases when even a single cent had value in everyday life. It may have bought chewing gum, paid part of a bus fare, or contributed to a child's small savings. Every scratch and mark on its surface represents a moment in time, whether it was sliding across a store counter, dropped into a metal cash drawer, or kept for years in a family coin jar. In today's market, the value of a 1941 wheat penny without mint mark in good condition is modest, typically ranging from a few cents to around 10 cents, depending on the level of wear and the presence of scratches. Because millions were minted and many have survived, the coin is considered common. However, for new collectors or anyone preserving family history, it is still a meaningful and enjoyable piece to own. Its affordability also makes it popular for beginners who want to experience the charm of wheat pennies without needing to spend much. Even though higher-grade examples of the 1941 penny can be worth more, circulated examples like yours still hold a place in the world of numismatics. What makes this coin interesting is not its rarity, but its role in American coinage. The Wheat Penny series, designed by Victor David Brenner, was introduced in 1909 for the centennial of Lincoln's birth. It became one of the most beloved and longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. Lasting until 1958, the 1941 penny sits right at the midpoint of that long timeline, representing the established trust Americans had in this design. The obverse portrait of Lincoln, with its thoughtful expression and historical meaning, remains one of the most iconic images ever placed on American money. The reverse wheat design symbolizes agricultural strength, national growth, and the values of hard work and prosperity. Even though your coin carries wear, it also carries authenticity. Good condition circulated coins often feel more connected to the people who used them. They are not untouched or hidden away for decades. Instead, they lived a real life in the hands of workers, families, students, shopkeepers, and travelers. Each mark on the coin tells its own timeless story. In today's modern world, where digital transactions dominate and physical money becomes less common, holding a 1941 wheat penny becomes even more meaningful. It is a tangible reminder of a time when everyday purchases relied on simple coins like this one.